Alright, welcome to just a quick look here at using the Gamesir T4 Kaleid, T4K here, in Switch Pro mode with gyro enabled, and I'm gonna use the right stick in kind of flick stick mode. I'm not gonna go deep dive, this is more just trying different settings, because, you know, just recently there were a little bit of a conversation, I guess you could call it, on an online forum, and it seems to be like the big thing, you can't hit shit with the controller, and I'm like, yeah, you can, you just need to have a good gyro controller. You can't do quick flick, you can't like do rock jump or like nothing, so it's like,
Johnny, hey,
I just don't really.
We need that virus.
No, I don't think that's true.
Terratech stocks are in free fall. We can't pay you if we're broke.
Right? Like, if you learn how to use Gyro, I believe that you highly can do some crazy cool stuff. Will it be as good as the mouse and keyboard? I don't know. For a casual player, yes. Gyro mouse, gyro controllers will for sure be able to give you the same good experience as the mouse and keyboard get. In single player, absolutely, because there you can tweak difficulty settings and everything, and you can keep your own pacing. Online multiplayer games, depending on the game, definitely going to be a good, nice, casual experience. You know, again, like if I wanted to do, let's do this. There's no problem here. Right? Like, doing a rocket jump or something, like if you practice it, it's just not going to be a problem. It is going to take, this is again flick stick, you don't have to use this mode, you can use just normal gamepad turning, and I recommend going for horizontal movement only. So that would mean that you would set your right stick would be a normal mouse simulation or whatever, and depending on the menu you are going to limit it, you're going to find something that is going to be right output. It's gonna be horizontal only for your right stick, and then no matter if you're using analog or like, most preferably it's the games is supports mixed input, that's the best option, or it will just, you will just be emulating a mouse and then have your right stick only be horizontal output. So flick stick, I'm not going to go in deep diving how to set it up. This is the big point. You should tweak this so that when you press down on your right stick, you should pretty much face the opposite way, right? So, you know, if I am here, if I press down, I should pretty much do... It's a little bit off, and then again, I'm not focusing on perfecting this. But yeah, because you can tweak it up a little bit or down a little bit to really kind of get that. But this is good enough for just trying out flick stick for me, because I've never been a huge fan of like flick stick in general, because I tried this flick stick in what should we say, in VR, right? Pretty much the same thing. Because in VR you have the same thing, you know, you press your left, you press your right on the stick, and it's going to be just snapping you 90 degrees, and this is obviously the best thing. If the game has a built-in support for, like, you know, mapping that to the right stick, you know, in a better way, that is going to be the most accurate, because then you wouldn't have to tweak. The game engine could be like, flick to you, or like just press left and it will snap 90 degrees left and right, like you have in VR games. But for me, it always feels a little bit weird. My brain just doesn't really adjust in a good way to it. Probably, you know, if you can get used to this, you're gonna get a great experience. And I'm sure that if you use this in online, people are going to be screaming that is cheating and blah blah blah. Sure, you can definitely go call that, but it's sometimes things just get a bit ridiculous. Like, I wouldn't mind if, you know, games supported this kind of snapping both for mouse and keyboard and gamepad. But, you know, it just... I think it's a bit ridiculous, people still judging controllers bad. Now, one thing I will say is that I think that... whoop, come on. Auto-aim or aim assist should die out. You don't need it. If you have that, like, I don't mind it. I don't mind auto-aim if it is like in a single player, but for multiplayer it should not be auto-aim. But if an online game has that, I think it should be like enabled for both mouse and keyboard and for, you know, gamepads. But yeah, I do not like auto-aim. I don't like it for me personally, in single-player games or in anything. If I need something to aim for me or help me aim, it doesn't feel fun to me. So I never felt that was necessary. And for, like, again, for competitive, any kind of online things, I just think we don't need to have that. If you need that for your controller, are you really using the right controller? I don't know. Like, using this, I don't feel I need it. The gyro helps me and it's just better, fun experience. If I'm hitting something, I feel it's me hitting. It's just very solid. But yeah, you know, the flick stick though, I don't mind if, like, if it were a thing for mouse and keyboard in game, and if it were a thing for I would not mind if you were able to bind that both for your mouse and keyboard and for gamepad. Because when you play online, I think it should be a fair play level of playing field. You know, you should have pretty much the same options available to you. So I'm trying to get used to this, and this is the first level here, so I'm very overpowered in this game. But it's just trying to... I wanted to have a lot of weapons available, so I could try to see if I could bind, you know, a good weapon swapping, because I don't like weapon wheels overall. Depending on the game, it could be really fun, but never really felt like the best thing for me to bring out a weapon wheel. And I can swap pretty fast, you know. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I have to stop to move for the rest, but this one I don't use as much, and I can. So, you know, if I want to do, I can. But yeah, I can get 6 weapons pretty damn fast, and I have an extra. Right, I have that one also. There we go, that's the one I'm looking for. No grappling in this one, right? So that's turbo time. I'm just messing around here. I also have... let's showcase my settings for you, right? So my left joystick is just being, you know, keyboard moving in digital way. WASD. And you know, my back buttons, they are set to be, these are right stick and left stick click, because I don't like clicking, and in that way. So if we go here, so this is my right back button, and that is jumping, and the other one I have it set, so if I press quickly I will dash on the left back button, I will dash, and if I hold it for a very short period of time, it's going to go into chainsaw slide instead. I think more games should have this like combination, again, input optimization, right? This works really well. Dashing, dash, slide. It's about, you know, pressing like maybe half a second, and I will do change the slide and press just normal it dash. It works great. You can still do, you know, jumps, change your slide and everything like that. Right, there we go. And then if we go to my buttons here, so my A, X and Y buttons are set to be, you know, if I press quickly I will get like a pistol. If I hold it for again like half a second or something in that realm, I'm tweaking to like 225. I don't know exactly what that number means, but this is a good number for me. I don't accidentally engage the long press, and I don't have to press it for too long for it to be feeling like it's not snappy enough. So you know, I press the A button here and it's a pistol, and it's my like Uzi or AR rifle, and I can, you know, bring up my shotgun, or if I long press the double shotgun, and you know, I have my machine chainsaw, Gatling gun, I don't know, minigun, and a rocket launcher by long pressing, and I don't really need more than 6 guns, right? This is gonna be pretty much my rooster of weapons, but I do have, so I can, without, I can't move unfortunately when I do this, but on the D-pad I can quickly stop my movement, and then, you know, I have access to my plasma rifle, sniper rifle, ion blaster, stuff like that. And I could remap this, that I could maybe do, maybe like this one for example, my ion blaster. I might probably just want that to be, instead of having access to the weapon wheel, I probably would just remap, if I were to go serious in this game with this controller, I would just completely remove the button that I have available. I long press my left button here, it brings up the weapon. I'm not going to be using this, so I probably would just remove that and make that long press. Like a quick press is my missiles, right? But yeah, I would probably just remove that and be like a long press or something like that. Let me show you this one. So if I press button 9, yeah, that is what I would have it be. What I would do is I would take, let's see, buttons, so bumper buttons here. I would take my right button now, and I would make a long press. I would like that to be the kind of arm missiles, so I would just remap this. If I'm gonna play this more serious like this, I would do, okay, I want that to be my arm missile, and I want a quick press here. I just want that to bring out my ion blaster, because that is a very useful weapon to have. So there we have it. Let me go in and change settings quickly. I think it is accessibility, micromizer, toggle. No, this is a great game to showcase lots of nice options. Apply settings, return. Oh. So now I can just quickly swap to 7 weapons instead of just the 6 weapon I had previously. And combined with some nice flick stick, you can go and get some really nice movement here. And now I don't have the weapon wheel, but do I really need it? Right, I have like lots of good options here. So I don't need this one. That one we don't need, we can remove that. Here we go. So now I have to remove my hand, you know, if I want to get plasma rifle. I don't really use the plasma rifle often, so it's not going to be something that I really need to hot swap to. So not a huge problem, but obviously you can tweak this to your liking. Maybe you don't need the super shotgun quick access, and you can tweak that. Maybe you don't need this be a quick access. Maybe you want your plasma rifle to be more of a quick access. But yeah, I don't think that games need to have like 10 to 12 different weapons. Again, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and like 7, and like 8 weapons. You know, there's more than enough. And then you have your alt fires, right? Meaning that you now have 16 different firing modes. So yeah. Sorry for this being boring here, maybe, but I want just to try this just quickly. So yeah, if you tweak this right, I definitely feel that you can get a lot of cool movement going. Right? More casual, you know, like from like a beginner to, you know, more of like maybe a bit of an advanced player. You know, this is a very viable options. Gyro controllers, no aim assist, no nothing like that, and you can use, you know, normal slower turning if the game supports that. This game I do believe supports that, right? Instead of flick stick you can just have a smooth analog turning, or you can have like that the game when you press the right stick would just move like this, be like simulating your mouse instead. Combining that with the gyro for some nice cool aiming. And if you go for flick stick, you're gonna get some really snappy precision. If you tweak it, you can do some really like quick turnaround snapping things, you know, 90-degree for that. So this should be really viable in games like, you know, Apex or Warzone for that matter of fact. And again, you might think that this is, you know, something that shouldn't be in an online game, and I'm not my fight on that. It might or might not, but I think that if a game supports this, why not?
I've located another biocore in the vicinity. Once you've purged it, I'll come pick you up.
The biocore is a Sin's
Come
connection
on,
to the
why do you
physical
talk
world.
right now?
We originally used the cores to speed up the augmentation process.
Can you stop so I can finish my
Sin's
sentence?
using them to pump out whatever godless
Shut up.
abstract madness
No!
it can imagine.
Oh my god!
The
Yes.
biocores say bye-bye, and Sin will sink like a stone.
Alright, are you done now, game? Just when I was just gonna make my little pointer. So yeah, I don't think it's gonna be cheating, and I think that if a game supports like this flick stick kind of thing, it should be best if it's supported within the game, so that, you know, you can assign it to be a 90-degree app, and you have 180-degree, and you can maybe make it, you know, 45, or, you know, tweak it yourself to what you want it to be. And it should be available for you as a mouse and keyboard and a gamepad player as an option. Same level of feel, and I don't think you should have any kind of aim assist. Like, if you need that, you know, in a single player game, sure. You know, you can definitely have it in a single player game. But like, if it's really necessary, and especially not for online games, like, just no. If the game has aim assist, then it should be the same for mouse and keyboard as an option. I just really don't feel that is a good thing. It's not necessary, like, I don't need it. With Gyro you don't really need it, and that just showcased that, like, if you need it, is it really the right, like, Is it really the right controller, like, you know, you're using? And again, if you are like a mouse and keyboard and you know, like, oh, controllers suck, I you know, no, not really. I think you're wrong. Especially when you have the gyro controls here, you know, like, you know, give it a shot. If you're playing a lot with mouse and keyboard, obviously you're not gonna be able to just get gyro controls and be better with mouse and keyboard because you have more hours in it. I just don't be like controllers always suck and everything and can't be used for FPS games or whatever. It's just not true in this time that we are in. It's a very viable options, and you know, there's no problem to like doing like rocket jumps and stuff. You can definitely learn that without a problem. There's lots of different methods for you to, you know, get an interesting experience, you know, flick stick or normal turning. I'm gonna do another video where I'm trying, in this game I believe, having no right joystick at all. No trackpad or anything like that. I'm just gonna be just a pure... Alright, there you are. Just a very pure, basic movement kind of thing, where it will be only gyro that I'm using, nothing else. Yeah, I can see why you really like flick stick, and if you tune it you can do some crazy cool stuff. But yeah, I don't think this is for me. It's still, again, this quick kind of thing here is a little bit off-putting for me personally. I feel that they are really good for the game. Just not really my... What? Why would you... How did this even happen? Yeah, that was a weird bug. There we go, yeah. Yeah, but I can definitely see that if you are, you know, player here and you don't have a problem with this snapping kind of thing, it's a great thing to have. But yeah, I am going to do a video where I'm only using gyro and in a specific way, because there is a new like Steam certified controller coming out that kind of piqued my interest a little bit. But you know, again, if I were to play this for a while, this would be no problem. Yeah, it was a nice, interesting discussion there when you came, and when this came about, and piqued my interest, just do a little bit of an extra try on my controller here with a different kind of scheme, because, you know, the forum discussion, you know, first was like, well, I haven't really tried gyro. Okay, so how do you know it's bad? You know, I just don't think that it's good. You can't really circle straight. You know, in games like Quake, okay, but let me see. This is circle strafe thing, alright, I can jump, you don't, yeah, track pretty good here. I can definitely circle strafe. and I did showcase me in like one of the final parts of the game. There was lots of parkour. I'm, you know, doing this, I'm dashing, tracking like a boss in the middle. You know, hey, you know, definitely for a normal, you know, average to decently good players, you know, there's no problem. And the response was, well, you know, this is not what I meant, and it pretty much showed a speed running thing with like doing crazy like 180 flips back and forward, flicking, doing like quick stuff like all that. And I'm like, well, you can do this, right? As I showcased here, right? You can do that. You can do a quick 90 degrees flip with and like 180 thing, and you can, again, if you want to do like a rocket jump, you know, it's not a huge problem, right? You can do this, and if you learn that, you can get good at it. It's not my playstyle, but the thing is, we started off, but I think like, hey, you can't play, you know, Quake with your circuit strafe and stuff. You showcasing, this is what I mean. This is a hardcore speed running hardcore video, which like 90% of people, or maybe even higher, not gonna play like that. That's not what I'm meaning. I'm meaning that the normal players that just like FPS games can use this both online or, you know, single player games, have a good experience aiming, tracking people with, you know, a controller, and they can be competitive against mouse and keyboard. I'm not talking about the 5% of players that speedrun or play competitive like hardcore Valorant. Maybe mouse and keyboard will be the ruler there. Who the hell knows? My discussion is, don't shit on controllers. Like, give Gyros a nice little try. You know, try different things, and you know, if you're a controller player, maybe give Gyro try different settings with the flick stick or with the move, like the normal just horizontal moving with the right stick, and see how it goes, and turn off auto aim. For me, this gyro aiming clicked. It clicked immediately. But then again, I just never ever used any, like, I didn't ever use dual stick for any FPS game or game like that, third person shooter. I never used it. It felt so bad. I didn't want to do that. So, you know, I only use mouse and keyboard for FPS games, except for GoldenEye and Perfect Dark, which again did not have a dual stick mode. It kind of had, but not something that you used. So yeah, don't have that kind of like bad like old school thing that, oh, controllers suck. And most people, when they think that, they are thinking about the regular non-gyro controls, or if people mention gyro, people think about, oh, the V, oh god, that gyro sucks. Well, today this is a different vibe, it's a different setting, it's a different feeling and like snappiness, and yeah, it adds a lot to the games. And I think it's time to get gyro more of a serious thing going, and to disable auto aim for gamepads, or, you know, give that to mouse and keyboard users also as an option. Same level of playing field. Because Gyro has showed me that we do not need to have auto aim at all. The game needs auto aim. You're using the wrong controller method in one way or another. So yeah, I'm just gonna be playing a little bit more here with this flick stick mode. I still don't feel that it's something that I want to focus on. The next video is something that I might want to focus more on, and that I'm hoping that more modern controllers is gonna be able to give us that thing. One thing to mention here is that when you use gyro, you need to have a good accessible button that you can press at any time to turn the gyro off. People call it kind of gyro ratcheting, right? And it's the same like if you pick up the mouse, now it doesn't track, it doesn't move. That is the exact same idea. So for me, you know, I have this gyro to mouse beta. You can use, you know, the gyro as a mouse. You know, both pretty much work really good. And what you can have is gyro activation button. And I've set mine to be when I press it or hold it, more like, you know, correct term here. When I hold it, it will suppress the gyro. It will turn it off. It will be like I'm lifting the mouse and resetting the position of the mouse. That is something that's very important to have when you get into gyro. And it is my B button. Don't look at the screen, it's showing the wrong position here. It is swapped. So on my controller is an Xbox layout, and the B button, when I press down that and hold that down, my gyro is turned off. And I have, at all of the times, I have my, you know, my hand is like on the B button, so I can really quickly reset it here. And to find that button is a really great thing. And the next video is gonna showcase and discuss this in a way a little bit more actually. And gonna be like what I'm hoping for me when it comes to gyros is what's the next kind of video is gonna be more about. How I think that for me personally, gyro controllers is like what way I want them to be evolving to, like what kind of option I would love for them to have. But yeah, this is a really, if you are really like a fast player, the flick stick here, and if you don't get dizziness, nausea, you don't get sick by using it. Let's go with that. It's gonna be a really good thing to be using for you to get really some nice, oh, there we go, snappy movement going, and you can definitely do some real pure like Quake style movement with it, you know, rocket jumping and other things like that. So this difficulty is like street clean, but I am overpowered. So I am on Pain is what I'm on, like, so it's one above a normal difficulty, but this is just the second level, so I'm overpowered. This is just to showcase again the hot swapping of weapons and stuff like that. But yeah, like gyros for like FPS game is just such a badass thing to like really give it a shot if you haven't, and try to give it a serious try. No auto aim or like stuff like that. Go slow on an easy difficulty first to try to get used to how you move. Like again, I see a lot of wrong things, like, you know, like, oh, I don't want to fling my controller around, like I don't want to do this with my controller, that is very uncomfortable. You don't do that, right? It's very difficult to showcase this. If you haven't already noticed, since the Steam controller came, I'm a huge gyro enthusiast. So like when I'm playing here, this is my movement. This is how you should try to practice, I feel, movement with the gyro. You can now and then do like more if you are in like extreme, more of a recoil, you know, situation where you really need to like do some quick, crazy, you know, extra recoil management. You know, you can as the same time as you like turn down, you can move your hands down to get really that kind of control of it. But most of the time, this is your movement. It's just like that little thing that you do with your mouse, right? Gonna be the exact same thing. You don't, you're not gonna go over your desk back and forward. Mostly you're gonna use these motions, which is fine for the mouse and everything. Or if you are high sensitivity user with mouse, you're gonna do maybe smaller. And this is the same for this one. If you find this is comfortable for you, you can use that. But most likely you're just gonna be using this. And this is again even a wired one. So like the wire isn't the problem with the gyro. It doesn't come in the way of it. So yeah, you need to like give it a proper chance and don't just rule it out. Again, if you are a competitive mouse and keyboard player, you spend 10,000 hours in your favorite game, can you get as good as that with the gyro? Yeah, maybe you can, but you're gonna have a steep learning curve because you have so much muscle memory. But if you are just, a normal casual player and everything, you haven't really dug into anything like in that kind of amount, it probably won't be that too difficult for you. But it can be a lot of fun thing. And try different methods of turning around with the flick, with the continuous movement. Try in a game that you really feel that you like, that you're comfortable with, and turn down the difficulty and just give it a nice little solid time. Don't go into it expecting it to be better at once or anything. And for me, like especially movement is so much more comfortable than mouse and keyboard, that I feel I'm doing better on movements. It's just sometimes in certain things with aiming that I still have a little bit more finer controls with mouse and keyboard. And I've used mouse as an aiming device, for 30 years. So of course I have more muscle memory and control most likely than I have used gyro control for 8 years now. 2015, no, 9 years, soon 9 years. So I'm lagging behind 21 years on mouse, using a mouse as an input device. But already I feel that in like 99% of the time to me they are pretty much on par. And the gyro and with the comfort and with all of that is just my preferred way of gaming. And yeah, I've played through Turbo Overkill with gyro control, the Steam controller, on one notch above the normal difficulty and had a blast, no problems. Doom 2016 on one above the normal difficulty there, and I played through all of the Doom Eternal, including the Ancient's God, using the gyro controls, and it was no problem with that. Definitely, again, this is fun to try because I can feel the charm with using the flick stick here. Or like, if you're good at it, that is gonna be really great. Like Doom Eternal is a game that definitely would work great with having a flick stick. And again, this is just a quick try here, right? I haven't tried to 100% maximize the flick stick experience or anything like that.
Sir, recent data suggests Sin's central database is located outside of Paradise, on the orbital station Vector 4, the location of Terratex HQ.
Oh, no. You keep your gimmicky metal ass away from my headquarters. Central database is worth trillions. You cripple that, you cripple the economy of every world spinning. I ain't paying you to break my toys, you understand? You've only got one focus. Dealing with the shit tsunami that is Paradise.
Especially the 180 like turnaround is what I appreciate the most with the flick stick. I could definitely see like a game that has a built-in like quick turnaround. I think this one has that one. Oh, that's the wrong button. Settings. Is it controls? Rebind, movement. Switch, walk, dash, jump, strafe. No, return. Action, grapple turbo, input quick stop, remember stop. Is it accessibility? I think I saw, maybe, no, okay, maybe it probably was a different game that has it built in, but yeah. Yeah, probably was a different game that had like built in a 180. That's probably what I would have liked to use in conjunction with just what I'm gonna... The next video is just gonna focus on using gyro in what I think is the advancement of gyro controls that I want it to be going, you know, forward with personally. And again, I'm just messing around here, I'm not trying to do anything super serious. So I just wanna... give this a nice little try here, so... But again, for like the majority of players, I just don't see this being a problem with the gyro versus like a controller with gyro support versus mouse and keyboard. I think they are in the same playing field without any aim assist or anything like that. Again, I am not a fan of aim assist. It's just really not something that I feel is necessary. So yeah, getting yourself a good gyro controller and try and play and just do it as a casual thing in a fun game on a lower difficulty. If you know, haven't tried flick stick or try, you know, that the right stick is like moving just horizontal, don't have it move up and down, just horizontal, and then use gyro to fine tune and everything. And you should probably get really good result. You could also start off with a game that, you know, you only use gyro for like aiming down sight, so when you press your left trigger, for example, it will then enable the gyro. I don't recommend that you go for gyro like emulating the right joystick. That is not a good gyro experience. Alright, this just gets you back up. What you should focus on is gyro to mouse, and map your gamepad to just be mouse or mouse and keyboard. Yeah, map it to only be mouse and keyboard, or find a game that supports mixed input, which means that you can both use there we go, that you can use the right joystick and left joystick, and then have mouse at the same time. Alright, that's the... Oh, let's take you out. Alright, well, yeah, I think this is a good stopping point. Yeah, I wanted to do this video as showcase. I want to talk a little bit of gyro and stuff like that. And again, next video coming up here is going to be not using a right stick. It's not going to be using like a trackpad or anything. It's going to be 100% gyro. And I'm going to use my Steam controller to simulate what I'm hoping the future of the gyro controller is going to gear towards. Not necessarily that I want them to remove the right joystick, that's not what I'm saying, but I hope they add more options for the gyro users here. So yeah, again, I highly recommend you just don't just dismiss, you know, controllers. If they have gyro, they are very, very good for FPS games. They can be, or like, you know, the majority of players, you can get the same competitive, you know, normal edge. Like gamepad with gyro and mouse and keyboard, they can go head to head, no auto aim and shit like that, and be equal on the playing field. For single player games, for online multiplayer games, they definitely can. There's definitely going to be instances where keyboard wins because it just has more keys available. But again, if more developers started to thinking more about input optimizations, that would be less of a gap in some instances, because there's so much fun you can do with this, which is this one, right? Where you have like tap and when you have hold. What was it? Yeah, it was Celico, you know. Celico, if that game had like this game, that if you, for example, tap, you would just crouch, and if you were holding it for like very short amount, it's not a long thing, it would then do a slide. You don't need the two keys for that. And there is also a game I played that had it when you wasn't really moving, it crouched, and as soon as you moved, it did like a dash slide thing. And again, it felt so natural. And yeah, more developers really should like focus on, do this action need a new key binding? Can I use what I have in a good natural way to do it. One thing is definitely, you know, that has Doom Eternal and Doom 3 was good at, and I think it could be a very viable option for like modern games. If you, let's say you have a melee button and you're coming to like a door and that door needs to be open, alright, we have a use key, be it UE. In most cases that is just not necessary. You can just have it be the melee button, and so when you're close to a button it will automatically change to be in a different action. Or you could just make that the animation to open the door or like to use the button would be the same as you just mailing that button, and it would open the door. Like there are many ways to like come around this and make it just more of a seamless experience without just having extra input, extra buttons. And I think it's so funny when you're looking at Celico or man, like keyboard mouse, like add this and this and this, and like well, we have a keyboard, just make it a different key, and it's like that is just in the end I don't think that's a good way to go. Focusing on optimizing the inputs, the having being fewer is great, and that is what I love with, you know, the back buttons here, which have allowed me to have my fingers on aiming, down sight, firing, moving, gyro for you know, fine tuning. I can use the flick, like the right joystick, to, you know, move, look different direction, or for a flick stick or something else. And at the same time I have my hands on my back buttons that are like jump and dash, and I have all of that available to me without moving any of my fingers. They are constantly, just instantly I can do all of these actions. And that is definitely like even better than me, because on mouse and keyboard, you know, when I want to move back, I'm gonna have to move my finger from W to S key. On my gamepad, I just tilt a little bit down, which is, you know, equally as snappy, equally as good, but it feels just a little bit more comfortable and smooth to me. And the same thing with having access to shift or to jump and crouch. In many ways, like it feels more like a smoother thing, that I don't have to move my hands or fingers as much. So for me in movement with, you know, the gyro here, it's a much more better experience than the mouse and keyboard. So don't knock, if you are a mouse and keyboard player, don't knock out, you know, from gamepad users. I'm not gonna, you know, again, I don't think that aim assist needs to be a thing with gyros, so, you know, I'm not gonna deep into that. But if a game supports aim assist or gamepad, give it to the mouse and keyboard players as an option too. Same level of playing field is what I feel like. But yeah, and if you haven't really tried a modern good controller with gyro, like, why not, just for fun? Again, if you are one of those that are in like the competitive space and you spend thousands of hours with mouse and keyboard, don't expect gyro just suddenly be better, because that is the big mistake that happened with the Steam controller came out. This is gonna, you know, replace the need of a mouse and keyboard, and everyone took that and ran with it. Not everyone, but most. It was like, oh, we have now a controller that is gonna beat mouse and keyboard without, you know, without just nothing. It's just gonna be. So, you know, you have people that have spent 10,000 hours using mouse and keyboard, and then suddenly just, wait, this doesn't, I'm not better from 0 hours on the Steam controller with the gyro. So this sucks, this is so bad. Like, that's just not a good comparison or anything at all. And you have gamepad users that were used to aim assist and this different turning of things. Which just, you know, again, it's not fair. You have spent maybe 10 years thousands of hours with the gamepad, with aim assist, and now you have a different controller, different input method, and you know, oh shit, I'm not just immediately as good. Well shit, Sherlock, no. It's gonna take time. For me it clicked, you know, super fast. I just got in, I had Gyro on, I played Far Cry, I came to the first enemy, I pressed aim down sight, and I'm like, oh, I'm hitting this shot. I have fine precision aiming, because that is what I have. Like, this is fine precision aiming. Right? This is definitely really fine precision here that I have. Gyro. And I can be fast. There's also another thing for Gyro. There's so much thing. You just kinda give it an honest shot and look around and try some things. There is, what is it here? Gyro. There you have acceleration. Like, people with mouse and keyboard, they're gonna be, oh my god, that sucks. Why, I don't want that. But you know, maybe for you know, Gyro, it could be a really good thing, right? And you can add that. So what this will do is that it will give you blah 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 blah. So this is gonna be that when you move fast, you can kind of flick by just going here. You can. I can do this, and this will move me, you know, nice. It will give me a nice mood. But if I were to do this, kind of gives me. I can pretty much do. I can do a flick. If I want to go and do like a 90-degree thing here, I can learn that I can tweak this, so I don't have to use the flick stick. If I turn fast, I can do quicker movement, you know. And this is something I can, you know, I definitely could like learn to appreciate. Like, that was a 180 with just using the gyro here with the acceleration. It's probably working better for me than having just being to be able to do just this without having to flick my stick. This is probably, you know, something that would work much better for me, that I could like learn to get muscle memory by. And again, with mouse you don't really might want to have that, but for gyro it might just be something that is a thing. To have acceleration on might be something that you really enjoy. So lots of option is what I'm telling you for gyro. Blah 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 blah. There we go. So yeah, we go. Stay tuned for the next video coming up. Leave a comment here, but I wanted to bring more attention just to the gyro discussion. I'm gonna discuss more in the next video, where I'm only gonna be using gyro in this game, only being using gyro and in a different way, and you know, just trying how it's gonna work and discussing what I really feel that I want gyro controllers to kind of have an option for in the future. And especially since we have another, like, since the Steam controller, I think the next controller that is coming up that is like Steam certified this fall, which is quite really interesting, and I hope more controls will follow and that they then will include a good option. So stay tuned for that video. This was Flickstick. Again, summarizing, I think it's really great, especially the 180. the 90 is a little bit interesting. It could definitely work if it was built into the game engine, so I didn't have to tweak it myself, like having the game just have an option for quick turn left 90 degrees, quick turn right 90 degrees, do 180. If the game had that as like a remappable thing that I could map to my right stick, left and right, and then back or down. And obviously then keyboard users should have this available also, it should be the same. Mouse and keyboard and the gamepad, you know, should have the same options. It should be great if it is in the game, but I'm not really in for like the flick stick like thing for me. I could get used to this, and I could probably get pretty, you know, good with this. Like doing this like nice 90 degrees thing here is definitely really like good. But yeah, I really want to try to go for just the pure. I might try more flick stick, but like not like in a video like this, but like in an FPS game, and just play using that. But yeah, overall I think I'm not sure if I'm gonna use it or not. I see all the potential, but if it is built into the game, I would use it more, like directly. But having to tweak it, it might be per game basis if I decide to want to try it. But it is definitely has a lot of good options. But it is also a little bit more of nauseating, might be a wrong word, but it is a little bit more distracting and a bit more confusing for my brain to using this than just normal gyro turning and stuff like that. So yeah, leave a comment, leave a like, try gyro if you have the possibility with just fresh eyes. Stay tuned for the next video coming out here right after this one, where we're gonna dive into gyro without any of the right stick users at all. The right stick is not gonna be a thing, and I think it's gonna be really fun, really interesting to try that. So yeah, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for that if you are interested in just a little bit more gyro ranting. And if nothing else, have a great day and bye for this time.